Hello and welcome to the newsroom with Dave. All right, so today we're going to do something different, and that is to discuss the upcoming update for Space Engineers 1.207. So there's been teasers about Space Engineers Survival for quite some time, ever since the release stream for the Fieldwork update. But what does it mean, Space Engineers Survival? Does survival mean food? Will we have things like the plant and cook mod, where we could farm our wheat, mushrooms, and so forth, such as these things here? And will our HUD change? For example, with the mod of eat, drink, sleep, repeat, we have sleep, food, and water, as you see down on the left-hand side. So let's see what they gave us so far. So back in May, we received a newsletter information about this survival mode. And it pretty much says that it's introducing a new survival system, including environmental hazards, which is configurable when creating a world, so you can kind of change it to the way you want to play it, in a sense. Whether it's going to be like a hardcore mode, survivalist type of deal, or something a little bit more easy. And then, of course, they put in a bit of a sneak peek called expanding the survival experience. And as you see here, it's the food plot, which you're growing some type of plants to potentially eat. It looks like there's 4 variations to it, which looks like cabbage, maybe berries, some wheat, and some mushrooms. What I'm trying my best to do is kind of analyze more than just what they're showing and kind of show what it is in the background to see if there's any new blocks. And in this video, it doesn't look like much. It looks like there's just a bit of a seat over there with the consoles and so it's nothing crazy. And I saw like scaffolding in the shadows and everything like that. The flooring looks like the new floorings with the details and things like that. So nothing crazy there. More about this plot. Maybe we could harvest by hand, or maybe there's a conveyor port underneath. Don't know yet. Can't really tell. So what do we think of it so far? If it's kind of closer to Plan and Cook, but more simplified, where it's just one plot and you choose what probably seeds you put in there. And in June, there was another newsletter, and it tells us a little bit of the additional / optional food settings coming into the new update. There's a number of blocks to the game to support that system, which I'm hoping it's going to be very, very similar to Fieldwork, where we got loads of different items, whether it's the update, free items, and also DLC, which I was very, very happy about. And then at the same time, they gave us a little bit of a sneak peek of the food processor. It shows us the multiple ports that's on there, one on top, one in the back, maybe one on the bottom. Does not really show us that, which is fine. But as it rotates back into the front, or when it zooms in a little bit later, we can analyze it a little bit more from there. So pausing it here, where it's pretty zoomed in, I think, and this is just my assumption, that there's potentially going to be 10 different types of food. As you see these little boxes in the back behind the arm. It's got 5 boxes on top, 5 boxes on the bottom, 10 potential type of things there. Maybe that's just my speculation, but it's a very detailed block, which is pretty cool. And you see on the top left section there, that's kind of like the wrapping for the rations, I guess. I think most of it is going to be like MRE type of rations put in a packet. What do they all do? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the environment and hazards that are going to be put in there. Maybe buffs in a sense. But of course, the funny thing is that it does say now who ordered the seared sabroid, which is the spider from the alien planet and other planets and moons that doesn't have the wolves. So will we have meat involved in this as well? Would you eat meat from a sabroid? Just let me know down in the comments below. In the latest July newsletter, indicated and showcased the environmental hazards. So the hazards seem to be very focused on like the character. So environmental things that will hurt you or deplete your health, whatever the case may be. So if you're in your potential rover, ship, house, home, station, you may be safe in that case. But what about digging into a voxel? Would that keep you safe? If you've seen the newsletter, it's basically an overhauled weather system. And it does say grids may become safe havens, so I'm not sure about the voxel thing I was just talking about. But what's more interesting is that it says surviving the storm is just the beginning. More dangers lurk over the horizon. Does that mean they're adding more than just weather? Are we getting new NPCs, armored sabroids, wolves, things like that? That would be interesting. But if we took a look at the sneak peek of the environmental hazards, pausing it right here for really quick. So as you see here in the HUD itself, you're going to notice 2 or maybe 3 specific things. One, on the left hand side looks like food. So there's no separation between food and water at the moment, it looks like. So it's just food. And then also look at actually key 5 and 6. They look like the rations that are going to come out of the food processor. The 5 looks like some kind of leaf. The 6 looks like, I don't know, kind of like seaweed or something like that. But at the same time, it kind of looks like fire. It's hard to say because it's not colored really. So, but that's just showing us 2 of the rations that you get out of the food processor. I guess 8 is the food processor, I believe. 9 is a survival kit. Not sure why they're showing that, unless that's not a survival kit. It might not be, actually. It kind of looks like it, but I could be wrong. It's very similar look. So keep on going through this. You're gonna see like a sandstorm like thing. Yeah, in this sandstorm, you get struck by some kind of debris. You kind of see it as it goes by. This maybe pertains mainly to like Pertam or any place that has sand. Earth like has sand as well. It might produce from there. It might be Mars as well. It's a whole big dune anyways. And it goes into like a next weather system, another biome. It looks like this is the alien planet. And you can see here, it's raining. You see the drops. And its corrosive elements have compromised your suit integrity. So it's kind of like, I would assume like acid rain type of thing. So in this next biome or weather effect, it's not really weather. It's more of a dust cloud or say radiation cloud. As you see in the bottom left, there's a Geiger counter in essence to show the radiation exposure levels. And it quickly goes from 1 to 3. And you're not taking any damage. But at the very end, you'll see it'll tick to 4. And you're still not taking damage. So what does that all mean? What level will it take to start taking damage? Or is it going to affect you instantly once you hit that specific range? So if you guys enjoyed this one, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment down below, even to say hi. Of course, I'll see you guys next time.